Golly, this thing's dirty. I hate to do this with it so dirty. Oh, hey there. Hi, guys and girls. How y'all doing? Hey, we haven't done a walkthrough on our new 2023 Ranger. This is a Ranger 521R. Now, I've been running for the last few years a 521L. And for those of you that are wondering, there's a major difference between a 520 and a 521. If you're thinking about buying a boat, it depends on where you're fishing. If you're fishing a lot of small lakes, that just doesn't get too rough, a 520 is a great boat. It's a little bit faster. Some of the tournament guys like it because it's a little bit faster. I like a 521 because well, obviously it's a foot longer. It's a bigger boat. It's a better riding boat. It handles big water a lot better. And a lot of times we get out on the Great Lakes. So we get out on some really big water. We actually get our bass boat down around Venice and down into South Louisiana out on the ocean. So I like a bigger boat. So if it depends on what you're using between a 520 and a 521, what you want to do. Personally, 521's a boat for me. The bigger the boat, the better. The bigger the boat, the better. Probably the older you get, the more comfortable ride you're looking for, even though you might not be going out there in 5-6 foot seas and running around. You still like a big, comfortable boat. You probably want a 521. 521R is what this boat is. There's a lot of difference between this and my 521L. And I apologize for it being so dirty, but I've been fishing out of it. I've been fishing, and I've got grass on it, and there's dirt on it, and it's dirty, but hey, that's what a boat is for. It's fish out of. Let's just start back here at the back. We'll start right at the very back. Got a big Mercury Pro XS 250 horsepower. And that motor doesn't look very big, although it is 250 horsepower. Absolutely the best Mercury engine ever built. It's a 4-stroke engine, which means that it doesn't have to run on mixed oil and gas. It does itself. And it doesn't really mix the oil with the gas. It's a 4-stroke as opposed to a 2-cycle. So it's got simply oil tank inside the engine, just like your automobile, just like your Ram trucks, just like your vehicle that your wife drives. You have oil, you change the oil occasionally. So this is a 4-stroke engine, very quiet, very fuel efficient, far more fuel efficient than the engines that we had in the past. You'll save a lot of money buying a new Mercury. We've had the Mercury 4-strokes down for 4 or 5 years. I've got a Fury. I run a 24 Fury is what I run on the back of it. That's a 24 Fury, which is a stainless steel prop. Stainless steel props are expensive. They're up in the neighborhood of $1,000 or more now, but it's worth it because it's very difficult to tear them up. Aluminum props don't perform well, and then plus the fact that you tick anything with them and it tears. So I've got a good stainless steel 24 Fury prop on there. Absolutely fantastic engine. I've got an Atlas jack plate. Now what this jack plate does is this jack plate allows you to move the engine up and down. Now, not tilted up. This is a power trim that tilts it up and down. Now, the Atlas jack plate is the best one made. I've been running them forever. They're made by TM Marine, and they're just absolutely incredible. The big advantage of that jack plate is shallow water. Many times we get in tournaments where we fish a lake that's really low. I think Okeechobee always popped in my mind when I think about that. One time Okeechobee was so low that you could find fish way back, and it's a shallow lake anyway. You could find fish way back up in an area, and it might be a mile from where you can normally get your boat up. You'd have to go idle a mile out through a flat before you could get in water that was a couple, 2 or 3 foot deep where you could get your motor up. With a jack plate, the guys that had a jack plate on their boat, you're able to trim the motor up and get up in much, much shallower water, get your boat up on plane and run. And in a tournament, it was vital you had that jack plate. The guys that didn't have the jack plate spent a lot of time idling during tournament hours, which is just like a kiss of death almost. So that's a good thing on a jack plate. Plus the fact when you're pulling a boat down on the trailer down the highway, you can jack this jack plate all the way up, keeps your lower unit stuff a lot further away from the ground. Where a lot of times, particularly nowadays where land has become so precious, you pull into a Kentucky Fried Chicken or a Burger King or something like that, or Popeyes and chicken. I love chicken. I hate eggs, won't eat eggs, but boy, I'll eat them chickens. But you pull in a lot of times, and a lot of gas stations even, you pull in because land is so precious, and they kind of build them up on little hills, and you pull back out, and you got a dip to go out. It just scares me to death in that, because you do not want to be dragging that lower unit on concrete. You just don't want to be doing that on concrete or blacktop. So you can trim that motor up. It gets your motor further away from the ground as you're trailering it down the highway. So the Atlas jack plate is a real important item to have on there. You see this little tip right here? It comes out here and it's got a little knob on the end of it. There's actually one on the other side also. This is attached to your motor, and it's actually there as a strap, as a ratchet strap for your boat cover. Ingenious idea. Let me show you here. Now I carry mine. A lot of people, when they take their boat cover off, They take their boat cover off. They put these in a storage box. I just put them right there by the seat. They're always right where I need them. And all you do on this is a Ranger ratchet strap. It's got a deal there that allows you to pull it out. And all you do is, see this little deal right here? You just hook this right on this little tip, push a button, and then I come up here and I'm going to hook it into the strap that goes around my cover. Now, we're not going to put the cover on right now because I'm going fishing here in a little while. But it's put around the strap, and then you simply ratchet that down until it's super tight, and it makes your cover super tight on your boat. It's an ingenious little invention, and you don't want to leave these on your motor. When you take your boat cover off, make sure the first thing you do is take those off. If you leave that on there, you're going to lose them in the lake, and you're not going to have them. Again, I lay them right in front of the seat. That way I know exactly where they are. Now, here's another situation. You'll actually have two of these on the boat. And the other one is right here. This you do leave on. It's attached to your trailer, and here's what it's for. You just simply take it up there and attach that to your boat. Now, what you've done then, once you ratchet it down, is you have locked the boat onto the trailer. So it won't bounce around as you're going down the road. You hit something really rough, it's not going to bounce. If you do happen to have an accident, you don't want your boat separating from your trailer. And so you've got actually a couple straps up front. We'll show you that here in a minute. And you've got these tie downs here. Now, if you've got a cover on here, if you're pulling it with a cover, you can pull it with or without the cover. Either way, if you've got a cover, your cover is going to be fastened down to your motor, and that's going to keep that up together. And if you do happen to have an accident, you do happen to run off the road or you have an accident, it will keep from damaging your boat quite as badly. In fact, I've seen people have terrible wrecks, and their Ranger boat not be hurt at all because of this situation. So it's a safety deal, keeps the boat attached to the trailer. I'm going to unfasten it because I'm getting ready to go fishing here in just a minute. And then they just go right back in and leave those attached. They'll stay attached to your trailer all the time. Okay, I think I explained all that correctly. But those are two really neat things that you don't find on many boats that you do find on a Ranger boat. Since I'm standing here, power pole blades. Power pole blades. Still, after all these years, and I don't know how many years we've been using a power pole, when I very first saw them, actually my buddy Shaw Grigsby was at a tournament in Del Rio, Texas at Amistad, and Shaw Grigsby was staying in the motel beside me, and we got in there the day before the tournament, and he had one of these on his boat. That was just a regular power pole, not the power pole blade like we have now, just a regular power pole. And he he had one on there, and I said, "What in the world is that thing on the back of your boat?" He explained it to me. I said, "Give me the number, give me the number." And I immediately called Rob Shamblin up and told him I got to have a power pole. And we started running one power pole on the boat. It's a shallow water anchor. I still get asked today, what are those poles on the back of the boat? Shallow water anchor. This is an 8-foot. Allows me to anchor in 8 foot of water or less. 8 foot of water or less. This is the blade, the very best ones. I've got blue lights inside of these. We got blue lights inside of the blue water lights inside of here. So when I have my lights on the interior of my boat, these lights are on also. And so early in the morning before daylight, around dark, it's really kind of a cool deal. It's just pretty is all it is. The lights doesn't catch you any more fish, but it's a pretty neat deal to have those lights on it. And I've got those lights inside. This is the power pole. These go down, they'll anchor in 8 foot of water. I've got a switch on the console. I've also got foot switches up at the front, which I'll show you when I get up there. That moves this up and down. We use this many, many, many times during the day. 2 anchors we have on these boats. Neither one of them do I have to do anything but do it with my fingers or my feet. One anchor is the shallow water anchor, 8 foot or less. Now, they make these deeper also, so you can anchor with them in deeper water. The other anchor I have is on my locators, on my Garmin locators. It's called a spot lock, and I'll show you that here in just a minute also. That is a deep water anchor. It keeps my boat right in the same spot when I'm out in the water over 8 foot deep. All I do is just hit a button on my trolling motor, on my Minn Kota trolling motor. I hit a button on there, and that spot locks me down. So that's kind of the back of the boat. I got to walk around on this side over here. On this side, we've got a couple things that's really neat. One of them has got a plug right here. Now, you can push this back in and shut that where you don't get any water on that. I actually don't do that. Again, I apologize on all the grass on the boat. The fish are in the grass, by the way. I guess you already figured that out. That right there, once I plug that in, it charges all 5 of my batteries. That's right, I said 5. I have 5 Super Start batteries in here from O'Reilly. I've got 2 that run the electronics. I've got 3 that run my 36-volt Minn Kota trolling motor. But this right here, when I plug this in, it charges all 5 batteries at once. Here's another little ingenious invention that we should have had 2 or 3 years before we had it. This is the drain plug. That's how I take my drain plug out right there. Simply do that right there, and I've taken my drain plug out. Simply do that right there, and I put my drain plug back in. A Ranger boat is what they call a step boat. It's built up on steps, so as you take off and you get it up and you trim your motor up, you get up and you ride on the last step. So you're only really running wide open. This boat runs well over 70 miles an hour. You're only running on just a little small part of the boat. You're running on a step that's clear up here. All of this part right here is totally out of the water. The drain plug is clear up here. So in order to put that drain plug in from the bottom, you have to get down under there and reach way up in there. You have to get on your hands and knees to do it. Invariably, if you get up, you'll probably bump your head on something back here in the back. But now, all we do, that takes it out and in. That's all you got to do. Once you drain plug out, when you get out of the water, let a little drain out of you got ice in your ice box or ice chest up there that's built into the boat. Let that melted ice drain or let your live well drain. We've had this on our live well system for quite some time. But it took a few years, and somebody said, you know, that'll work exactly the same on as putting a plug in your live wells. It'll work the same back here as putting a plug in your boat. And so they started doing this. Ingenious. Again, something that it's not exclusive to Ranger. I think there are a few other boats that's beginning to copy this right now. There's many things on many boats that's been copied from Ranger. Here's another thing about the back of the boat that's really good. If you notice, we don't have a splash well in a boat anymore. We always had a splash well here, which is a deal where the water could splash up in, had a hole in it where the water would drain back out. Actually, you don't need that anymore. And you can be running a Ranger boat, and you get in some other boats and this doesn't happen. You get in a boat and you stop real quick and water washes up here, and sometimes it gets this whole carpet wet back here. Well, one time it'll get the carpet. One time's all it's got to do it. I used another brand of boat. I won't mention the boat. One time in the BASS tournament where they brought me another boat. I'd broken down 20 or 30 miles away. They brought me another boat that I could use the rest of the tournament. And when they brought me that boat, it was a different brand boat. And the very first thing I did is I run up and stopped at a spot. And as soon as I stopped, water came up and this whole back deck got wet. And so if I would come back here and kneel down or something, I had my jeans wet, and it just wasn't good. This is made so you can be running and stop real fast and the water hits this splash well, no water gets in your boat. So it's an important deal having a splash well. That it's really not a splash well. This is just simply a flash point. And it keeps the water from, when you stop quickly, or it keeps the water from coming over the back of the boat. The people that run that other brand of boat have to slow down real slowly. I actually got my bottom wet. It came all the way up where I was sitting when I slowed down real quick. I couldn't believe it. And somebody told me, said, well, Jimmy, you should have known that does that every time. I said, my boats don't do that. My boats don't do that. So this is a real important part. Now, the other thing they did is they kind of cleaned up this little situation right here. This had some nice bars in here on last year's model. It looked real pretty and everything. It's kind of hard to get in here and clean this spot right here. So when you clean your boat up, they just put a nice big piece of chrome, comes all the way around to the side of the boat. And I just got this boat. I haven't put my Ranger decals back on. This will have a Ranger 521R sticker that's on this right here. They have to take it off. Well, actually leave it off when they wrap a boat. So I've got to put that sticker back on. So this will say Ranger 521R right here. Really nice looking raised deal. It's really, really cool. You might wonder in looking at the back of the boat, well, we'll look at the inside when we get in there. We won't worry about that right there. Okay, as you come up to the front, you don't really have to pay a lot of attention to what's on the top of the boat right here. What's important now is the trailer. Now, tie downs are on the top of the boat since I got one handy. That's all you do to raise your tie down. You have your tie down, so if you have a rod in here or something, your rod can go across that. It's not going to get in your tie down and break. When we had tie downs that were simply bolted to the top of the boat, up like that, many times you lay a rod down and slide over here in this or slide over here in that, and your rod tip would be in here, you pick the rod up and it breaks your tip off. I've broken probably a dozen doing that. I'm sure you probably have too. These on the Ranger boats are you fish down flush, and so you can lay your rod down, lay it down right on top of that. It doesn't make any difference. So that's like that. We have one I actually have 3 of them on this boat. We got 3 of them up through there to be able to tie down to. Here's another one right here. This is a place you tie down to a lot. So Ranger started putting one right here in the middle. So you pull up to a dock, you take your rope out, tie up right here. I used to tie up to my steering wheel a lot, which is probably not a good thing to do. Tie up right there. So you got that right there. Down on the Ranger Trail trailer, one of the most impressive things on a Ranger Trail trailer, it is like the absolute best trailer ever built, is steps. It's got steps all around it. So you want to get up in the boat, you have a step right there where you can climb right up in the boat. As you get a few years on you, getting in and out of a boat becomes a little bit more of a challenge, particularly getting out of a boat, because you want to be careful and not fall head first down on the concrete or the ground. So these steps become very, very important to you. Now, I got this problem solved big time because I can get up in and out of this boat just about anywhere. But you got a step right here. You have a step right here that's a double step. You step here and then step here and go over the boat from this area right here. You also have another step up here. So back here in the back, you've got 4 steps around your console area, and this is on both sides of the boat. Both sides are just like this. Beautiful fiberglass fenders that match your boat. This boat is red and silver. It's what the boat is. It's got a wrap on it, a Shell Rotella wrap on it, but it is actually a red and silver boat. And you don't have certs where you have to grease these wheels. They got liquid cool deal in there. And just beautiful rims, beautiful tires. I mean, just the trailers are just a work of art in themselves. Just a work of art in themselves. Your spare tire, of course, right here, easy to get to. Which you need a spare tire that's easy to get to in case you have some problems. One of the things that I recommend that anybody do, you can go to your O'Reilly store and buy ramps like you used to, to drive your car up on where you want to maybe change your oil or something. You can buy a set of ramps, 2 ramps. I carry one of those ramps in my Ram truck all of the time. And here's the deal, if I have a flat, if this tire here goes flat, I can simply put that ramp back behind it, back up on that ramp. This tire is off the ground. I can go ahead and then take my lug nuts off, put my new tire on. If I have this tire right here is flat, simply put my ramp up on the front of it, pull this up. This tire then will be off the ground. And here's what I recommend, and this is just a little safety tip right here I want to do. If you have a dual wheel trailer of any kind, a horse trailer, a car trailer, anything, you've got dual wheels like we have right now. Most trailers are dual wheel trailers because they carry a lot of weight. And changing flats on dual wheel trailers are really a lot of trouble. I mean, it's just a lot of trouble. One of the things, you're lifting up a lot more weight. You got a couple horses in the trailer, or you got some calves in the trailer that you bought, or you're taking some down to the sale barn or whatever, or you've got a trailer that's got 3 or 4 four-wheelers on it. It's a heavy trailer. When you start jacking that thing up with jacks, you're asking for an accident to happen. It just is a dangerous situation. And here's what I recommend on dual wheel trailers. If you have a flat on these, pull over to the side of the road, use those ramps. You get those ramps at any O'Reilly store. They're like, I don't know, $30, $40, $50 for a set of ramps. And they're just set of ramps you just drive up on. Pull up on there, take that flat tire off, and then go to your next exit and get off before you do much of anything else. You can run dual wheel trailers on one wheel. You can do that. But spend as little time as you possibly can on the side, particularly if it's an interstate. It doesn't matter. Spend as little time as you can. People are killed in this nation every day changing flat tires on cars and trailers. With a dual wheel trailer, you can obviously put that ramp on there, take that tire off, get off of the interstate, pull into a parking lot, pull into an O'Reilly store. They'll probably get out and help you. Pull into a parking lot of someplace and change your tire. Don't spend so those ramps can really be a lifesaver, in addition to make it tremendously easy to change. All right, let's go to the front of the boat. This side of the trailer is very important over here. You got an easy latch system right there to unhook and unhook your boat. Very easy. Easy latch system. You have a safety bolt in here that you simply put in that hole right there. That means that people can come along and mess with that. They can fool around with it. Unless they pull that out, they can't unlatch your boat. So that is a safety feature, so this will not come off of your hitch. My hitch is a Kurt Rebellion XD. That's absolutely the finest trailer hitch that you can buy, without a doubt. That trailer hitch is allow you to go up and down. So if you want it a little higher, you simply move this pin. I've got a lock system on it, so my trailer hitch is totally locked. They can't steal the trailer hitch. That happens at times. I got a ball on the bottom, a bigger ball on the bottom, a 2-inch ball, and then the next size up on the bottom. So if I want to just flip that around, it's very easy to do. If I want to pull a bigger horse, like a horse trailer or a stock trailer or something's got a larger ball, I can just flip that around. So that Kurt Rebellion, absolutely the finest trailer hitch made. It's locked on. It's locked on here. You can't steal that. I guess you could, but it'd take a lot of work to steal that. Big, heavy lock system that's on there. You can see on the tie downs, they're very easy here. Here's another thing that I do. I put these on my boat trailer, and you see where this bolt that goes through here is locked on also. So everything is locked here, so nobody can steal this. These right here are simply big clips that I buy at, I can buy them Tractor Supply, wherever you want to buy them, but these big clips that makes it easier so I don't have to reach way back up under there. They're handy where I can clip them on there. That's just simply if you want to use your brake system, it's a totally deal there. My lights, I've got my light switch in right here. This is a swing away hitch. Flip it right here, you can swing your hitch out of the way. So if your garage is not long enough for this boat, you can swing this away. The system here, if you'll notice here, we got an extra strap here. What this extra strap here is for is in case you have a wreck or something, or maybe you didn't get this down, or maybe somebody come by and they just flip that switch down. They flip that switch down while it's sitting somewhere, and maybe at a restaurant or something. They come down just out of just meanness or nothing to do. They reach over and they flip that down. Now this can go back. You've got this extra safety switch on there to keep that from happening. So that's a great safety switch. Your tongue is a swing away tongue. You pull this out. Let your tongue go down to jack it up. Make sure it's locked when you come in. It's totally out of the way so you're not running into it. Great system right there. And then a parking brake. That's right, boys and girls, a parking brake. Flip this down, and you had your boat parked, or it's parked on a hill, or you park your trailer at a hotel or wherever. You could be parked on a hill like this right here. And that will hold it. That parking brake will hold it. So you got a parking brake where anytime you have to unhook your trailer, go somewhere you unhook your trailer and go eat or whatever, you got that parking brake. A very, very great thing on Ranger Trail trailers. I love them. On the front of a Ranger, again, you got more steps. You got a step right there you can use. While we're looking down here, we talk about a Ranger Trail trailer. These are armor coated. That won't chip, or you can have that in rocks and stuff. It's got armor coating on the entire trailer, so that trailer will look just as good 10 years from now as it does right now. Probably be dirty just like it is right now. But you got your Ranger Trail trailer that's armor coated. Up here you have another big step to be able to use to get into the front of the boat. But I've added a step. I've added a step. This is called a trick step. This right here, it's made in Indiana. It's called a trick step, and you just attach it to your trailer with 4 bolts. It's an easy installation. You can go to TrickStep, TrickStep, TrickStep.com. Got a little sticker right here that tells you where to go to. And order one of these. You can put them on any boat. Some of the boat trailers now at Tracker, on our Tracker boats, are coming actually with one of these on there from the factory. At least the ones I've been getting having on there. I don't know if it's an option or what, and Johnny's just putting them on there for me because he knows I need it. I love these. These are absolutely fantastic. If you are getting in the boat from the front, we have so much stuff up at the front of the boat anymore. I've only got 2 locators up here. Some of the tournament guys have got 3 or 4 locators up in the front of their boat. So it's really pretty crowded when you try to get in from the front of the boat. But you can step up on this step right here. I use the trailer as a step also. Step up here however way you want. Come on up here and step right up in the boat. And then you can step, you don't want to step on your screens, obviously. You don't want to step on your trolling motor. So you can come on up here. You got something for your hand. Step right over into your boat. Same thing when you get out. All right, let's start here at the front of the boat and look at what's inside. I don't kneel down and get up as good as I used to. This right here is a very, very important part of the boat. This whole system right here. There's 3 or 4 different items right here. One, of course, is the trolling motor. 36-volt Minn Kota trolling motor, runs on 3 batteries. I've got a transducer here that runs to into my Garmin system, which I've got all these locators Etherneted together. So they're all connected with each other. They'll talk to each other. I can change around screens. I can do whatever I want. This reads down. This reads down. So if I want to be reading down vision, side vision, this is all right here on my trolling motor. These are two, that's right, I said 2 LiveScope transducers. I predict that in the very near future, I don't know if any of them is doing it now, but there probably are some, people that will run 2 LiveScope transducers on their trolling motor as opposed to 1. And they do that for one main reason is they can have, one I've got on a right height turret. It's a right height turret made over in Missouri. I've got one on here. I've got foot switches here, right here, that run left and right. These foot switches will turn that left and right over here. See that moving right there? They'll turn that left and right. So if I spot lock down on my trolling motor and the boat will stay in one spot, that trolling motor's got to be moving around. I can point this transducer directly at a brush pile, a stump, a fish that's suspended, and keep it on here with these right here, moving this around however I need to. I can do that right there. And then I also have one on my trolling motor that I'm operating right here. Operating this as I turn my trolling motor around. This is stationary. This doesn't move, but my trolling motor moves. So as that turns around, then I'm looking directly out in front the way this is pointing. I keep this lined up this way. This right height turret's got an arrow, so it tells me which way this one's moving. And here's the deal. I've got these Ethernetted together so I can have one of them looking here and one of them looking here. I've got 2 units up front. These are Garmin 35 SVs, or I don't know what they're called. But anyway, these are the very best 12-inch screens. These will work on smaller screens, obviously, but I've got 12-inch screens right here. And big screens so I can have one transducer, one Garmin LiveScope transducer here and one of them up here. Now, what I have done mostly is I keep the one that's moving with my trolling motor on this unit, and then I have the one on my turret right here. So the turret is for really locking in on things. But I predict these are only a 30-degree cone angle, so they're only showing about that much distance out there. With 2 of them, I've got 60 degrees, and I can also be looking. I can have a brush pile right over here that I've got that pointed to. I can have this on spot lock. This can be moving around. So I'm looking at the screen that's on this one here, and I'm keeping that fish or that brush pile or that tree right there in my screen at all times. If I'm fishing down the bank while my trolling motor is going in and out, I've got this one set at an angle where it's going right at the bank. Now, if I do that, I might switch and put this trolling motor up here on this locator. I can do all of that. It's amazing what all we can do. Up at the front of the boat also, this little deal right here is simply for the GPS that is built into a Minn Kota trolling motor. This is the GPS that allows me to hit this spot lock button right here on my trolling motor, and this boat stays anchored in deep water. 20, 30, 50, 100 foot, don't matter. I could stay right on the exact spot just like I have an anchor going all the way down the bottom. In fact, much better than if I had an anchor going all the way down to the bottom. I do that with just simply hitting that button. This is the receiver that receives that GPS signal and operates that and keeps this trolling motor, this boat sitting right in the spot. Once I hit that spot lock, the boat's going to stay on that spot. Over here is just a real simple set of controls. This is trims the trolling motor down. Trims the big motor down, trims the big motor up. That's hooked up to my Mercury. It's got AC switch. It's got my switch where I can hit my live well aerators if I'm using those from up here to the front, and also the lights where I can operate the lights up here to the front. Right here, it's got what you really need is a cup holder. I wouldn't mind if there was 2 cup holders up here because a lot of times I've got a Yeti here with ice in it, and I've got an energy drink or a soft drink of some sort. I wouldn't mind if it had 2 cup holders here, but it's got one. It's got places where you keep your tools right here on the side. I have my second, like I said, I apologize. This boat is so dirty. It's got tackle boxes everywhere. I've been fishing, guys and girls. I've been fishing. These 2 buttons right here run my power poles. That runs it down, that runs it up. These are Bluetooth. They're not wired to the trolling motor at all. You simply put them wherever you want. If I decide that I want those somewhere else, I just take those up and move them. So those are movable. If you get out there and you go fishing, I decide maybe they're too close to that, or maybe I want them up under it a little bit more, I can move those around simply by taking those and moving. Those are Bluetooth back to my power poles. I've been fishing. Have to apologize for going fishing. Something's wrong. All right, back here in the back, we can just take a look. We got big boxes. I got lots of rod and reels laying out. But you open this up, you got a big giant box right here. I don't have much in it. That's my boat cover right there for my motor. I'm actually going to take that out, so I'm just going to throw it out right now. And I will have a lot of stuff in here. I just have not had time. I picked this boat up at Jimmy Houston Marine, and I went fishing. And then I went fishing, and then I went fishing. And so I haven't had time to do anything to this boat. So I'll have things organized a little bit better. This is a rod box also. It'll hold several rods. And I don't use this for a rod box. I use it for keep my rain gear and my jackets, my life jackets. When I'm not using the boat, I keep my life jackets in here. I keep the tops of my locators in here. And that's what that big compartment right there is. Great compartment. This compartment here is just for tackle, and it's a big one. It's a big one as well. And I've got fishing line up here at the top, in the front of it, and got a deal up here where you can set little small boxes and stuff. I have got a lot of stuff in here in bags because I took all this stuff out of the other boat and moved it over here real quick. A lot of it I just put in bags. You see that right there? It's a bunch of Lucky Strike soft plastics, which I'm going to be using later today. I've got tackle boxes sitting in here. Got Lucky Strike jigs in it. Now they put a nice little pad in the bottom of this, which just makes it really nice. Keeps things from getting dirty or wet down there, and it keeps that's a nice looking thing. The storage compartment over here, you put your fishing line or small tackle boxes in there. This is your fuse panel right now. Look at that. That is modern 21st, 22nd century, 23rd century fuse box. It is really neat. It's labeled well. It's simple. There's not very many fuses, and it's just an absolutely neat little deal for your fuse box. Very handy, easy to get to. This center box is like everybody's favorite box on a Ranger boat. Let me put that down. By the way, these latches are both where you can turn them, lock them like that, and then lock them. They lock there really well, and it's really a good deterrent. Obviously, you could take a crowbar or something up here and bust things out and break into this boat. That's a big deterrent. You can turn them on that position right there. And you have to grab it, and it'll come right up. You don't have to worry about turning them or anything. This middle box is really the most important thing in people's bass boats. It's where you can keep a lot of stuff. And you can see down here, it's a big rod box. This is where I keep the majority of my rods. As you can see, I got rods laying out on the deck. I've been fishing, I keep saying that. A lot of people keep a lot of rods. You can have your rods in here and still have quite a few boxes on the bottom. And you can see I've got some extra carpet decals down there. But you can keep quite a few boxes here. You have where you can have boxes on both sides. That's just some extra wrap material if I want to use it in case I get scratched up on my blue. I'll take that out. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of there. Get that out of there right now. But there's still a lot to do. Plug knocker right there that a buddy of mine from Alabama down there gave me. Maybe two of them, one like that and one larger for an Alabama rig. It's a good idea right here, by the way. This is nothing but simply, it's got a little small plug knocker on it, and I've got it on a marker buoy. That way you got a place to have your line. I'll actually put this one on there. Just got that one. I'll put that one on a marker buoy too. But you see that I've got that right there. Have it on a marker buoy. It's always handy so you can retrieve your lures. Yes, I do retrieve my lures. I don't break them off too often. I try to get them back. I can put quite a bit more tackle down in here and still have plenty of room for your rods. You have two racks up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 rods. You can actually double them back there now. They've got a big wide open area right there, so you can put those down in the rod tubes that's up in there. This box right here, many people, tournament guys, use this simply for tackle. Now you get a lot of weight up here. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the speed of your boat a little bit. So I try to keep mine relatively light, although I do put quite a bit up here. Some of the tournament guys keep their rod simply in the side box, and they don't use this. They just use it for tackle, and they'll have this whole thing completely full of tackle boxes, and that's fine. Here's a great little trick that we do. This does not come on a Ranger boat. I bought this at Bass Pro Shop. That's simply a light strip, and that light strip there, I've got it down where I've got it wired, and then I've got a little contact point right here, where so when I set this, when we shut this, the light goes out and it's dark in there. Can you see that? It's dark in there. Well, if you were in there, you could see it. If you were inside the box, you would be in the dark right now, like in a coffin or something. But then when I open it, the light simply comes on. I can see down in there. It's a real neat. In fact, you can buy these at Bass Pro Shop. Just a single light switch, and buy that in there, and you can fix your boat up like that, like right now, where when you open it up, you got plenty of light. So if you're out there before daylight or after dark, you can see down in your rod box, get things out. Leave that open for rigging a lot. That shows up real good if you want to rig something before daylight. So that's an awful neat deal. Again, same thing here. You can leave that there while you're fishing. It's flat, so it's not going to trip over you. There to lock it. Over here, got red man spinnerbaits laying everywhere. That's a ledge in there. Move my scissors. These are little $3.95 scissors. Buy them at Bass Pro. I buy 4 or 5 every time I go in a store. This box over here, again, it's another big rod box. Now this rod box is kind of cool in the fact that it's got, this is where a lot of people, the tournament guys, keep all their rods now. It's got another, and a rubber piece in the bottom, so it's good if you have your reels laying in there. It's not going to scratch your reels up. It's got a level here and a level up here. The front is different than it's ever been on this boat. You'll have no rod tubes up there. So then you can take this boat and whatever you want to do with your rods, all you have to do is just stick them up there and lay it up there. You don't have a tube to have to worry about getting into. See how open that is up there? You don't have to worry about a tube. You got 2 shelves back here, and so you can set it up on a shelf. You can keep easily 15 or 20 rods in there. You hear me, Tommy Biffle? You hear me, Tommy Biffle? Tommy Biffle will have 40 rods in there, I promise you, in his Ranger boat. But that's exactly how you do that right here. Now, these Ranger boats, if you will look over here, you see this little deal right here? This is a humidifying system that will dry. It's actually a dryer that dries the humidity, dries the moisture out of this. So if you put your rod and reels back in there and they got moisture, your line's wet, you put them back in there, or you're out there and you're fishing in the rain, you open this or you get rain in there, whatever, a little moisture in there. This is a system that the blower will come on and dry this out for you. Dry this out for you so you don't have any mold or mildew building up. It's a dryer system that, as far as I know of, is unique to Ranger boats. So you've got a wonderful situation in that too. I mean, just absolutely fantastic. All right, this box right here is the ice chest that was over here. This was simply a step up with a little storage box in it. And you notice, I saw all that stuff was in bags. And this is much deeper than it was before, and it's actually turned into a live ice chest now, which gives you a lot more room in that rod box. And it's a little bit more handy for the people that's fishing in the back of the boat as well. A little bit more unhandy for the people in the front. But you can see it's a big, giant, deep ice box. I've got about 2, 4... I've got NH State water in there, structured photon water, actually patented water. Helps your balance, your strength, your endurance, everything. Almost an energy drink in water. And but it's got shelves on both sides of it. Got Vienna sausages, probably out of date. I've been in here. Those come out of the old boat. Do these things expire? I don't know. Established best by February 6, 2024. I can't go a whole year before I have to eat those. And you can carry your spoons and stuff in there. So that's a nice big ice chest. And it's an insulated ice chest, so the ice holds really well. Again, you know, you've got this that you can turn both ways. Your ice chest does not have a lock on it, but you can just leave that there where you can open it and close it without having to fool with that lid. Place for 3 tools over here, place for 3 tools over here. This is one of the greatest inventions on a Ranger boat. The key right here, boys and girls. Your measuring stick, always in the same place, always handy, and always totally out of the way. All right, let's go to the back of the boat. All right, you notice something right here. Look at this right here. 1968 to 2029, 55 years. 55 years. This is the 55th anniversary version of a Ranger boat. I bought my first Ranger boat in the fall of 1968. It was a 69 model. But so I've been running Ranger boats for a long time. Okay, we'll just go ahead and sit down right here at this because you can see one of the things that they've done with the console of a Ranger boat is they have totally cleaned this baby up. I'm not even sure how to operate everything yet because I've had this boat just for about a week or so. I've been fishing it 2 or 3 times. That's why it's so dirty. But you got a big deal right here, a big platform here. This platform here is simply for the guys that want to put 2 or 3 locators up here. Mount them up here and you put 2 or 3 stack locators side by side. Big stack, you put these big locators like I've got in the console. You can actually put them up here on a double mount and have 2 of them up here. I only use 1 anymore because I don't tournament fish. I use 1 back here. It is Ethernetted. It is Ethernetted to my units up front. So I can have this on my live scope up front, and the person sitting in the back of the boat can watch and see the exact same thing that I'm seeing up here. And I'll tell him, okay, it's the way my trolling motor is pointing, or it's the way that white arrow on that right height turret is pointing, because I've got 2 scopes up here. We can individually look at either one of these here on this locator. So it's really a great setup that I've got here. So clean, so neat. All you got over here is you got your engine start and stop. You've got a horn, and now you've also, this has got a fob with it. So, and I've got my power pole buttons right here. Now the power pole, these buttons here are up and down, but this also regulates my power poles. The speed on them, where I can make them go up and down real fast or real slow. And I've got also, I can make one of them go up and down, the right one or the left one, or both of them at the same time. All operated with this button right here. Again, that is Bluetooth to the motor back here. Over here on this side, now I had Jamie install me a key switch in here. So I've got a key switch, so it will override anything else in case I lose the fob or don't have the fob, or in case something happens electronically. I can still start this thing with a key. Just turn it on right there, it turns the key on. Now, here's the other thing that you get. You've got everything in a touch panel box up here. This has got everything in it right here, and this always just pops up so far. I guess it's going to take a second to pop up. There you go, it finally popped up. You can see right here, I've got everything. Hit that button right there, and you can see now I've got that on the live scope. And it's obviously you can't see anything on here because my live scope's out of the water. But that allows the person in the back of the boat to look and see exactly what I'm seeing. But you look at this deal right here. This is amazing. This is amazing. This has got everything on it. It's got my jack plate, how high or low I've got that jack plate right there. And I don't really know what this first fish mode is. I guess that you hit that button right there and it turns your locators on the way you want it. I haven't studied that. I don't really know. But you've got everything on this. So you got your mile per hour, your RPM. You run your lights. You run all your controls on here. Media, which operates your stereo system, which I don't have. Various alerts, your settings, your display. Everything is right here, and everything's on touchstone. There's your fuel gauge right up here. And it's all in one neat little box. Remember how we had all those instruments and plugs? We've gone through various stages upgrading technology. This is the latest in Ranger technology right here. Over here, all we have is simply your lights, your bilge pump, and your live well. Very simple. Now again, this is something I would recommend, having a key switch on here also as a backup in case anything fails in the fancy electronic systems we have right now. Have a key switch where you can always start it, and maybe you fall overboard and your fob is in your pocket and maybe it gets wet. I don't know. I mean, there can be situations where a key switch can come in handy. Down here, you've got a place where you got USB ports down here. Here, a regular cigarette lighter. This is something that's going away in cars and things like that. With a boat, sometimes we plug in a spotlight to that. So you still have that. You can also plug something in there to have extra. You've got a couple of deals where you can plug your phone in, stuff there. Right here operates your live well system. Turn it over here for recirculate. When you're on recirculate, that means the water is simply pumping and recirculating, not coming from out of the lake. In the middle is empty. Turn it right there and it'll empty your live well. Turn it over here to auto, and that's when you want to have it on auto, where it's coming in from out of the lake and going into the live well and overflowing out. Coming out of the lake, into the live well, overflowing out. Recirculate. You do that many times, like in a tournament, you might put your boat on a trailer and drive to the weigh-in or something like that. You have it on recirculate. What I use this for is sometimes I would get somewhere and catch a couple, 2 or 3 fish, or maybe F1s or Floridas. I want to bring a couple, 2 or 3 back and put it in my lake. I can put that on recirculate. This has got oxygen, a meter in it, oxygen system in it, so it's pumping oxygen into the live well. I can put that on recirculate and drive 100, 150, 200 miles. My fish are still good and alive when I get back home. If I want to bring back and stock some different genetics in my lake. So it works out really, really good from that standpoint. Kill switch, obviously right there. You want that hooked up to your live well. On this console also, and we overlooked it, these are the switches that run your power trim and run your jack plate. This one over here runs my power trim. All I need to do, up, down, up, down. Over here, my jack plate, up, down, operate right over here. Very simple. You want to go up, you want to go down. Very simple, very easy. These used to be switches that went up and down. Now it's simply a lot higher class, just a better unit, a better situation. Besides that, they're beautiful. The consoles on these boats, absolutely beautiful. You see right here, you've got a place to put your feet. I think all of this tackle, by the way, came out of my what is now the ice chest. I think it's where all that come from. But you got your deal there where you can put your foot. So if you're driving, you see you got lots of leg room. I'm only 5'10", so you know I can reach all the way. You got lots of leg room. I can stretch my legs out all the way. But even if you're 6'10", you can still get it behind a Ranger console and be in good shape. Your Mercury throttle right up here, forward, reverse. It's just so simple, easy to operate. Power trim, again, up and down while you're running. Really simple, easy situation. The floor, if you notice, is different in what it's been in my boats. This has been carpet in the past. These things got dirty. They got hard to clean. Sometimes you get in here with mud on your feet. It makes it more difficult. Now you just simply got a rubber mat. And you just take a hose and wash this out. Water's going to go down into the bottom of the boat, out the bilge pump area. This box in the middle you can use for whatever. It's actually a fairly good-sized box. The box in the middle is a good-sized box. I use it. I keep my gloves in there. I got a little pair of grippers that scales that the battery's dead on. And this, again, that's for your system that dries things out. Again, you're blowing in here, dry anything. So if you're wearing those gloves out there, they're going to be wet. You put them back in, they'll dry that box out as well. These are what used to be called a Nina strap, Nina Wood, beautiful lady who's gone on to be with Forrest in heaven. And these are simply, as you're riding up here and you're running along here at 75 miles an hour on the passenger seat, this is to hold on. This is to hold on. This is to hold on. You got one right down here also. Now this strap, this lever down here on the bottom operates these seats. They will slide in and out. So if you're a little shorter person, you can slide that seat up closer, same way over here. Both seats on this boat slide back and forth. So it's adjustable seats, however the way you want them. Also, you can move these up. You want to clean back behind that. It's a little area, it gets a little bit difficult to clean. Deals here you can hold on to. Here you can hold on to. I mean, you're ready. Let's go 75 miles an hour. Let's go 75 miles an hour. I'll let Pat drive today. Not. Got a big glove box. It's just really big. Nice big glove box in a Ranger boat. This has got carpet inside of it, so you can put glasses, anything important in there. Cameras, cell phones, whatever, and not worry about them getting scratched or hurt or messed up in there. Great box right there. These over here on this side, you got over on this side, you've got a cup holder. You got a cup holder on the other side. You got a place back here where you can put whatever you want to put, just a holder. You throw the lures you've been using, it's supposed to throw them in the boat. This is for your rods. Your rods lay back on this, back to the back. You have a strap that comes up here that fastens. Strap comes up over your rods, and look here, it fastens down underneath. That's different than in the past where they were up on top. Fastens down under here. This will keep your rods from blowing out. You can actually, when you're going 75 miles an hour down the water or down the highway, a lot of people leave their engine and they're going down the highway. You see it all the time, and little worms and spinnerbaits flashing around down there in a boat. That will keep those from falling out right there. Gas tank right here. Just pull up to your gas pumps and fill it. The Mercury motor back there, it's got its own oil reservoir. It's not mixing the oil with the gas. It's a 4-stroke engine. You've got that back there, so you just pull up and fill it up with gasoline. Again, more tie downs on this side. They got them on both sides of the boat, plus on the steering area. The boxes back here in the back are simply big storage boxes. Big storage boxes. You've got a shelf up here. This is where I keep all my spike-it dyes and stuff up on that shelf. Sometimes I have fishing line up there. Got my marker buoys. They're nice and easy to find. I've also got my wrench where I can, if I have problems, need to change props, I've got a wrench back there to be able to do that. This is just simply some cleaning deal. This is a motor toter. I got tools back here. I got tools in here, more cleaning stuff, more tools in that. This is just sort of a box I can use for whatever. There's so much storage in this boat, you could actually put your tools and all your cleaning materials and various things that in this box that you can keep away from your fishing tackle. In the middle, of course, is 2 live wells, but now here's a great innovation. This is a dip net holder. It's made with a compartment right here to hold the front of your dip net. These straps right here are Velcroed, so you simply, now you're fishing, you want to undo these so you can get this out real quickly. But to go down the highway, and I pulled this thing back from Little Rock just the other day, or Arkansas, and with this back in the back, and it rode just fine. I did not lose my dip net. Here is 2 big live wells. What these that I've got up on the top. These that I've got on the top of this are made to ventilate. This is a ventilation system. It's a ventilation system that's made for. It's a new pro product, and it's made for getting air down in your live well from the vents when your trolling motor is running or you're running down the lake. This is going to put more air into your live well system. And we open it up in the back. You can see this is the way it is right here. You know, a lot of times you get a bunch of big foam buildup on top, and when you run your aerators, this alleviates all that. It's a very inexpensive system. My new pro products, and I've been using it on my Ranger boats for several years. Tournament fishing, it is vital. If you're going to tournament fish, club fish, or whatever, make sure you put these in there. You buy them 2 in a pack, and they're very in it. All you do is just drill a hole. They got a template. They put in with 4 drill a hole in your live well, put those in. Very inexpensive, easy to put in. The live well system is a recirculating system. It's a pump out system where it'll pump the water out. I've got oxygen in here also, so I'm pumping oxygen into the fish. It's just absolutely the finest live well system ever. Split live wells, or you can just take this out and use that as one big giant live well if you want. Tournament fishing, you always keep them separate, but you can do whatever you want. It's absolutely the state-of-the-art live well system, the very best. Oxygen, pumping in and out, recirculate, we're talking about up there with that. Absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You got a little clip right up here. You might say, what in the world is that? Is that hang your lures or something? No, this is for tournament fishermen, so you can put your culling rings right here, so they're always handy. Reach up here and get them. When I cull fish, when I was tournament fishing, I would have them, I'd do a red, white, and blue. So those would be the first 3. The first fish I want to cull, it's got a red one, the smallest one I've got. I put a red marker in when I catch my 6th fish. And then so I got different colored. This is set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. You can have your culling rings right there, your floats, whatever type culling system you use. That's what that little deal right there is for. This explains your pump out system right here. It tells you exactly how to do it, to operate your pump out, where you can just simply pull your nozzle there and pump the water out of your live well, so you don't just have to let it drain, or you can turn your switch on empty and let it drain out the bottom, however way you want to do that. This box over here, this box here is simply another big giant storage box. And you can see, let me put that up in that other compartment. You can see I've got, again, still got bags in here, stuff that come out of the other boat. Lucky Strike Red Men. Spinnerbaits made in the USA. Those packages are going to be red, white, and blue here pretty soon. You want to get your hands on some of those packages. I use this Ranger hat. It's 30 or 35 years old. It's a Gore-Tex hat. You know I don't wear hats. It's a Gore-Tex hat, but this one right here, again, made in the USA hat. There you go. If it rains on me, I put my Gore-Tex hat on. Yeah, buddy. And this has been through 30 or 35 Ranger boat. One of the things I forgot to mention, I do have lights, blue lights. Those are blue water lights. I've got those lights all the way around the boat. They're beautiful blue lights. I have those also inside my power pole, and it's just kind of a cool deal. When Chris is out here with me, just gets in a nice mood to see those nice blue lights. They go all the way around the boat. They go in the front of the boat. The last box in the boat is really, really important because it's the battery box. And it's got the switch over here to turn your whole boat on and off. I've got it on right now and showing this. When I park the boat, I always turn this in off position. That way if any kids or anybody gets in the boat, anybody comes by, they start pushing buttons or flipping switches. No switches, all buttons in this boat. But they start doing that. If you have this in the off position, your battery's still charged. You have it in off position, nobody can mess with it. I take this on display sometime, and there'll be 100 kids get in and out of this boat. They can push the buttons, they can turn things, they can do whatever. As long as I got the power off, everything is turned off. I've got 5 Superstart batteries in this boat, as I mentioned earlier. We got breakers back here that operates everything up front. And I've got a breaker over here that operates my trolling motor. And 5 batteries. This is a back navigation lights right here. They got a place to put it on the boat. And this is all good. You got a flip deal here that you can flip up. If you want to get back to work on your aerators, it's right there, an easy way to get down there and work. They have almost just thought of everything. They've just almost come up with every problem that you could have to run into on a Ranger boat, and they've alleviated that problem or made it better and made it easier for you. I have a transducer. If you look right down in between those two pipes there, you'll see a transducer that is mounted, reading down through the bottom of the boat. That is my high-speed transducer that will read, and I can read the bottom going very, very fast, and everything else I need to do with it. Still plenty of room. I have room to put a put a prop back here if I want. And we got $110,000, $115,000, $120,000 boat that absolutely has it all. What can I say, boys and girls? You still have to have a $1.19 roll of toilet paper on a $3 mount. Maybe a $5 mount. I don't know what that mount was, but really, you got to have that. And you know, got it back here where it stays completely dry, and it's handy and easy to use. Even in the daytime. Look at those blue lights. I might leave them on today. Okay, guys and girls, that's a Ranger boat, 520R, 521R, excuse me, 521R. It's got the most incredible, the best seats I've ever seen in a bass boat. Far superior from last year's model or the year before. They have made so many changes on this boat, and this boat will ride like a dream, like a dream. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. I'm going fishing, but remember, I sure do love you.